So you're scrolling through feeds, trying to make sense of everything. How do we actually get to the bottom of things? I mean, what's real? What's maybe a bit skewed? And how do we just cut through all that noise? That's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to explore this crucial art of uncovering hidden truths. We'll look at it from a few angles, like media analysis, the really hard work of investigative journalists, and even the bravery of whistleblowers.
Yeah, and for this, we've gathered quite a mix of sources. We've got articles looking into media bias, pieces on how investigative journalism works and its impact, and even some really fascinating history, like the very first whistleblowers.
Exactly. We're hoping this deep dive acts as a kind of shortcut for you to get you really well informed on what's a vital topic. It's packed with, I think, some surprising facts and insights that should help you navigate today's information landscape a bit better.
Curiosity. Let's unpack this. So, fundamentally, this drive to uncover truth, it starts with something really human, doesn't it? Curiosity, that basic need to ask why.
It's behind huge scientific leaps, obviously, but it's also what pulls back the curtain on hidden stuff in society. One source we looked at, The Power of Curiosity, really nails this. The desire to understand is the engine for discovery, period.
And that personal curiosity, it scales up, right?
Yeah.
It becomes socially important. It fuels that need to find hidden facts, hold powerful people or institutions accountable. Like the Yellowbrick article really points out how much the media shapes public opinion. So understanding how information gets presented is, well, it's essential. What we see really affects our worldview, who we trust.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that our perception isn't just given to us, it's actively shaped. So, let's talk media bias. It's not always, intentionally malicious, but it's this tendency for news outlets to frame information based on their own beliefs or maybe their agenda. And this shows up in lots of ways, right? What facts get picked or left out.
The language they use.
Exactly. Loaded language, how the story is framed. The key thing, I think, is that bias isn't just on or off. It's a spectrum.
Yeah, it can be really subtle or totally overt. It's rarely simple. And that's why uncovering wrongdoing is so vital, because it pushes towards more transparency, more accountability for those in power. Digital Ad Blog mentioned that. This isn't just about digging up dirt. It's fundamental for a healthy democracy. Number analytics really stresses that point, too. When hidden things come out, people like you can make more informed choices, demand better.
Okay, so if that's the why, let's get into the how. How does bias actually appear in the news, you see? Yellowbrick breaks it down into 4 main types. First, probably the most obvious, political bias favoring one party or ideology.
We see that a lot.
Then there's confirmation bias. And this isn't just journalists. We all do it, prioritizing stuff that just confirms what we already think.
Right, and the danger there, especially in media, is creating those echo chambers, where you only hear what you agree with. But then you also have commercial bias. This is where profit motive takes over. So maybe sensationalism, clickbait, things that get more eyes, potentially prioritized over strict factual accuracy.
Yeah, it's not always blatant lies. It might just be what stories get pushed forward because they sell more ads, maybe. A subtle skew.
Exactly, a quiet influence.
And finally, there's ideological bias, where an outlet promotes a certain set of beliefs or values, often reflecting the owners or the organization itself.
What's interesting is setting these biases against what investigative reporting tries to do. It's almost like the antidote.
Totally. Investigative reporting aims to go beyond the headlines. It digs beneath the surface, tries to uncover truths that powerful people might want kept hidden.
And the power in that isn't just finding facts, it's about disrupting maybe comfortable narratives, forcing accountability when there's resistance.
And when we talk investigative reporting, it's pretty specific and demanding work. Journalism University lays out the characteristics. We're talking in-depth research, seriously, combing through documents, tons of interviews, analyzing data meticulously.
Right.
It takes incredible persistence. These things can go on for months.
Sometimes years, really.
The main goal is always uncovering truth, exposing things like corruption, injustice, stuff that would otherwise stay buried. And it's done for the public interest, right? To inform people, hold power accountable.
And let's not forget the risk-taking.
Oh, yeah. Journalists often go up against powerful institutions. They face legal threats, sometimes physical danger, social backlash. It's definitely not easy work.
So, okay, understanding bias helps us as news consumers, but what about the journalists trying to cut through it all? What tools do they use? Well, the Yellowbrick article actually gives some good tips for you, the listener, to be more discerning. First big one, diversify your news sources. Don't just stick to one outlet. Read widely, get different perspectives to get a fuller picture.
That sounds like solid advice for avoiding those echo chambers we mentioned. What else?
Second, fact check and verify. Always. Cross-reference info, use reliable fact-checking sites. Don't just take things at face value. Third, learn to identify loaded language. Pay attention to words designed to stir emotions or signal a particular slant.
Oh.
Fourth, consider the source. Who owns the outlet? What are their known biases or agendas? Do a little digging. And finally, look for context and balance. Are all the relevant sides presented? Is there enough background to really understand the issue?
Right, so for us listeners, it's about being actively critical. But what about the journalists doing the digging? What's in their specific toolkit? It really starts with credible sources, doesn't it? Number two, analytics points this out. Sources are everything. Journalists find potential sources, then they vet them really carefully, like verify who they are, figure out their motives, any biases, check for conflicts of interest.
It's a whole process.
Then they have to verify the information itself, corroborate it, check it against other sources, public records, data.
And you mentioned public records. That leads to another huge tool, public records and FOIA requests. FOIA being the Freedom of Information Act. These are absolutely essential for getting into government documents, think meeting minutes, financial records, contracts, emails, stuff that can really expose wrongdoing.
So FOIA isn't just asking for anything you have.
No. A good FOIA request is specific. You might ask for, say, all email correspondence between official X and company Y regarding Project Z between these specific dates. Precision is key to getting what you need.
Got it. And nowadays, there's another massive tool, data analysis.
Oh, huge.
Journalists are using statistical software, sometimes coding, sifting through enormous data sets, and then using visualization tools like Tableau or D3JS to turn those numbers into charts, graphs.
Makes it understandable.
Exactly. Turns complex data into compelling stories. It's a real game changer for uncovering big systemic issues.
But while data and documents are crucial, sometimes the deepest truths are held in people's memories. Which brings us to another fascinating method, oral history. It's kind of like deep dive journalism through conversation. There was this project, Hidden Histories, mentioned in Digital Humanities Quarterly. They used oral history to capture the memories, the motivations of early computing pioneers in the humanities.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a way to recover these incredibly rich, often unrecorded histories that might otherwise just disappear. It really highlights the power of direct human experience as a source.
Okay, so we have the methods, the tools. What about the actual impact? Does this digging really change things? And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The impact can be incredibly direct and sometimes quite dramatic. The Bureau of Investigative Journalism, TBIJ, they have some amazing examples. Their work on soya-driven deforestation in Brazil. It led supermarkets like Tesco, Waitrose, Sainsbury's to invest $11 million to tackle the problem.
That's significant money.
Right. And Aldi actually stopped selling Brazilian beef entirely after TBIJ linked it to environmental destruction. They also exposed a tech company co-founder for helping governments secretly track mobile users.
Wow.
Which led Twitter to cut ties with that company, Middo. And get this, an investigation into a local council, Thurrock, about 138 million potentially missing. It led to a resignation before the story even ran.
Before publication, that's pressure.
Exactly. And it sparked calls for a government investigation. Their work on SLAPPs, those lawsuits used to silence critics, actually influenced the UK Justice Secretary to tighten the rules.
That's policy change.
And sometimes it's really personal. A local investigation into issues faced by disabled people. It directly led to a man named Peter Gilroy finally getting a kitchen adaptation he'd been waiting ages for. That's real-world impact right there.
It absolutely is. And speaking of impact, especially from data, you have to mention the Panama Papers in 2016 and then the Paradise Papers in 2017. These were just monumental leaks of financial data. Both Number Analytics and Journalism University cover this. They basically blew the lid off global tax evasion and money laundering on a massive scale.
I remember those. Huge.
Yeah. Led to investigations all over the world, resignations. It really showed how analyzing vast amounts of data can expose hidden financial networks at the very highest levels.
Incredible stuff. But uncovering wrongdoing, like we said, isn't new. Let's jump back in time a bit using this fantastic TEDx talk source about whistleblowing. Picture it. February 1777. The American Revolution is raging. 10 sailors on the frigate Warren do something incredibly risky. They secretly write to the Continental Congress to complain about the head of the Navy himself, accusing him of war profiteering, mistreating prisoners.
Against the head of the Navy. In wartime, that took guts.
Seriously. And the consequences were immediate and harsh. 2 of them were thrown in jail for criminal libel.
Ooh. So much for speaking truth to power initially.
Right. But while they were in jail, they wrote another letter to Congress, pleading for help, saying they were just young men sacrificing for their country, doing their duty.
And that plea, it worked.
It absolutely did. It
Yep.
led to a landmark moment. On July 30th, 1778, the Continental Congress passed America's very first whistleblower protection law.
No kidding, 1778.
Yep. The law literally stated it was the duty of every inhabitant to give the earliest information about frauds, misdemeanors, and misconduct. And here's the kicker. They even allocated funds, $4,418, a fair bit back then, to pay for lawyers to defend the jailed sailors.
Wow.
And they were found not guilty. It's just this foundational moment for transparency.
That's an amazing story. And that historical precedent, you can see its echo today, can't you? That same spirit is in modern laws, like the False Claims Act in the U.S. An assistant attorney general called it the most powerful tool the American people have to defend itself from fraud. And these laws have helped recover billions in fraudulent claims. It shows the enduring power of enabling people to expose wrongdoing.
So wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you listening right now, whether we're talking about spotting media bias, understanding the intense work of investigative journalists, or the courage of whistleblowers? It all comes back to seeking truth, ensuring accountability. It's really about empowering you with better information, sharpening those critical thinking skills we all need.
Yeah, and connecting it to the bigger picture, your engagement really counts. Knowing this stuff is one thing, but applying it is where the value lies. We really hope you'll be an active participant in how you consume information. Keep questioning, keep analyzing critically, keep diversifying where you get your news. It's just essential today.
Definitely. So here's the final thought to chew on. We know curiosity drives massive scientific discoveries, but it also drives the exposure of these deep, hidden injustices. What hidden histories might be waiting right there in your own life or in your community, ready to be uncovered, if you just start asking why and dare to look a little deeper.